Both these teams dominate on the inside and in the paint. So whoever I think wins that battle and rebounding battle is going to win this game. When it comes to three-point shooting, Arizona doesn't do it at all, and they don't make them when they do. They're third on three-point attempts and 361st on three-point percentage. Again, out of 365. So I don't know what the point is there. They will win if they dominate the paint. Again, both these teams are good at that. So whoever wins the battle in the paint is going to win this game. When it comes to my point and my pick, Arizona bear down, baby. Welcome back, benchwarmers. March Madness is coming to a close over the next few days. So let's take a look at the matchups as we head into the final weekend. Ooh, has it been chalky on the women's side? All number 1 seeds into the Final Four. Okay, I'll say it's kind of chalky for the men's as well, I guess. 2 1 seeds, a 2 seed, and a 3 seed. One of them being Arizona as a 1 seed. Let's go bear down. We'll get into more of that as we break down the matchups. Before we get started, though, if you're not already, don't forget, please subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss any one of the new episodes. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the list of the 4 teams that are in the Final Four, kind of give you the 4 opponents they've played so far in the tournament to get to this point, and maybe a positive and negative about that team and why I think they can win, and ultimately who I think is going to win each matchup, and who's going to win the national title game in the men's and the women's bracket. I'll do the men's first and then move over to the women's. So let's get started. All right. Illinois, the number 3 seed, the highest seed left in the tournament, has never been here, at least not that I'm aware of, or it's been a very long time. I believe it's the first time. So looking at the 4 teams they beat to get here. So as a 3 seed, they beat number 14 Pennsylvania 105-70. Nice. Number 11 VCU 76-55. Number 2 Houston 65-55, and number 9 Iowa 71-59. So now again, Illinois, a good school, not known for necessarily basketball getting this far. I even noticed when they were doing the post game, the coach they were talking about said his kid was wearing a Brian Cook jersey. Whoa, if you're a Laker fan, that takes me back just a little bit if you know what I'm talking about. All right, then we're going on to UConn, who's the number 2 seed. These are the 4 teams that they've beaten on the way to the Final Four. 82-71 over number 15 Furman. Beat number 7 UCLA 73-57. Michigan State number 3 67-63, a little closer. And of course, if you were watching last weekend, the craziest game of the week, the Elite Eight game against number 1 Duke, which they won 73-72 on a last-second shot. An amazing play. I don't know what Duke was doing. You had the ball, 10 seconds left. You didn't have to get across half court. Don't know why you panicked and threw it, but shit happens. All right, number 1 seed, one of the 2 that are here in the men's bracket, Michigan. I know if Brendan was here, he'd be stoked, although he doesn't necessarily pay as close attention to Michigan basketball as he does Michigan football, but I know he'd still be happy. So Michigan in the first round, 101-80 over number 16 Howard, 95-72 over number 9 St. Louis, 90-77 over number 4 Alabama, and 95-62 over number 6 Tennessee. Not a lot of close games. Michigan's pretty dominant and has been all year. I'll get into more of that in a second. And of course, my favorite one to have made it this far, the number 1 seed, Arizona Wildcats, bear down. If you know what I'm thinking, you know where I'm going to pick already. All right, in the first round, played number 16 Long Island, 92-58. They beat them. Then they beat Utah State number 9, 78-66. Beat Arkansas 109-88. Arkansas number 4. And then took care of number 2 Purdue 79-64. So those are the 4 teams, their routes of the tournament and who they played to get to this point. So in the Final Four on Saturday evening, the first game will be Illinois versus UConn. Illinois is a 1.5-point favorite, which I kind of think is shocking based on UConn's experience over the last couple of years. But again, they didn't win last year, so they're not going back to back. So maybe it's kind of a toss-up in a sense, although we are at a neutral site. So maybe that has something to do with it. Okay, so UConn going one back-to-back in 23 and 24. Didn't win last year, obviously, and now we're going for their 3rd title in 4 years for Bobby Hurley. That is crazy. Bobby Hurley, right? That's right, Coach? God, I hope I got that right. Okay, so again, looking at this team, I'm going to give you a positive and a negative of each team, and then ultimately who I think is going to win the matchup. All right, so let's start again with UConn. Flott doesn't create enough free throw attempts. Now, not that we want free throw merchants as we have in the NBA, I guess, but you do want to be able to know that if it comes down to it, you can get to the free throw line, especially when it comes late into a game. They are currently 306 out of 365 schools in the nation as far as free throw attempts. Now, they don't give up a lot of free throw attempts on the other side. They're 307th on that side. So kind of cancels out. But when it comes down to, especially in the tournament, free throws are always important. So hopefully it doesn't come back to bite them in the ass. They will win, or the positive is a senior Terrace Reed Jr. Dude, that guy has been a baller all year. He's averaging 14 points, 8 rebounds a year, and over 2 blocks, which is really nice. he has scored 20 or more in 3 of the last 4 games of this tournament too. So he is on a ride. He looks good. They look good. I think just the experience of being there before, especially Hurley as the coach and having just won a couple, and he's kind of crazy. And it seems he's the right amount of crazy for this tournament and what they need at the moment, and seems to press all the right buttons. Now, last week might have just been lucky because of the way the Boozer kid, took care of the ball at that situation. But again, put them in that situation in the first place, down 19 to come back and even have a chance. That has to do with coaching a little bit, I have to think. All right, so when it comes to Illinois, if they're flies, they're a 3-point reliant team. Kind of thinks about the Warriors back when it wasn't a thing. They shoot a lot of threes. When they win, they tend to make about 36%. If they make 31 plus, that's usually when they're losing. So 3-point will tell you a lot about what they need to do or what's happening in this game, I think. They will win if they continue to play defense like they have in this tournament. 70 points is the most they've given up, and in that game, they won 105-70, so you probably think foot off the gas a little bit. Otherwise, 55, 55, 59 given up. So they are not messing around defensively. But when it all comes down to it, I think it's UConn. They're the experience, especially if it comes down to something close at the end. I think that's where UConn's chemistry and experience comes in really handy, and they move on to another national title game. Would be the third time in 4 years, as I mentioned. So, all right, game 2. I know it's going to be Michigan, Arizona. You already know what I'm going to pick based on what I talked about earlier with the bear down, but I'm still going to give you some notes on each team, positive and negative. So let's start with Michigan. If they get on a run, especially early, it could be over quickly. They have this ability to go on an 18-2 run and separate themselves, and then it's all over. Again, kind of a weird thing. Another Warrior reference. That team, when they were really good in that, come out in that second half in that third quarter, and they just went 18, 20-point run on you. Game was over. There was nothing else you could do about it. Michigan's kind of got a little bit of that. Now, the offense does break down when they don't make their threes as well, because when they shoot well, they win a lot now. They only had 3 losses, but when those 3 losses this year, 28% from 3. So not very good. They will win if they can force Arizona to shoot from outside, because that is also a weakness for the Wildcats. Now, Wildcats, come on, bear down, boys. This is the time. We haven't been to the Final Four in over 20 years. Every time I think we got to the Sweet 16 in the Sean Miller era, I thought we were going to get there and make it, but we always seem to run into, I don't know, Kemba Walker when he's on his crazy run. So stuff like that happens. Hopefully that's not this case this year. They were 5th in points in the paint this year, averaging over 42. I mean, that's their strength, is inside to outside, just like Michigan essentially too. It's strength versus strength, really. Both these teams dominate on the inside and in the paint. So whoever I think wins that battle and rebounding battle is going to win this game. When it comes to 3-point shooting, Arizona doesn't do it at all, and they don't make them when they do. They're 363rd on 3-point attempts and 361st on 3-point percentage. Again, out of 365. So I don't know what the point is there. They will win if they dominate the paint. Again, both these teams are good at that. So whoever wins the battle in the paint is going to win this game. But when it comes to my point and my pick, Arizona bear down, baby. I'm not even going to think about it. Which then leads us to the title game on Monday night. And again, I'm going Arizona. I know everyone's going to pick UConn and the experience, and I get that. And Arizona has none of it. But I'm picking with my heart, not my head on the title game. Sorry, guys. Bear down. Let's go. All right. Now, we're going to move on to the women's Final Four. Again, going to do the same thing. Going to give you each team, give you their road to the Final Four in a sense, who they beat, and then a couple notes on each team and who I think is going to win the game. So let's start with South Carolina. Dawn Staley has this team back in the Final Four. They're going for their 3rd title in the last 5 years, I believe, and 4th overall with her as the head coach. So they definitely know what they're doing, and they've won big in every game they've been in so far. 103-34 over Southern. Yikes. 101-61 over USC. 94-68 over Oklahoma. 78-52 over TSCU. That was the closest game they had. Again, not a whole lot to talk about there, but it is the South Carolina Gamecocks, and they'll be ready to go. UConn women going for back-to-back titles. UConn women and men in the Final Four again, which is very weird, but it does happen occasionally. Again, not a lot of close games for them either. 90-52 over University of Texas San Antonio, 98-45 over Syracuse, 63-42 over North Carolina, and 70-52 over Notre Dame. Again, UConn has been dominant, and they're here for a reason, back-to-back. And Gino, I mean, as long as Gino's there coaching, they're going to be in the discussion of Elite Eight or Final Four every year, no matter what. Then we have the Southern California own UCLA Bruins, Lauren Betts and her squad going for the title this year, and her last year, I'm assuming, at this point as well. Not a lot of close games either necessarily, maybe in the last one versus Duke, but 96-43 against Cal Baptist, 87-68 against Oklahoma State, 80-56 against Minnesota, and 70-58 versus Duke. Again, not as close as most games, but a little closer than some of the other ones that we've been over scores. Again, both sides, men's and women's brackets, been very chalky, a lot of one seeds as we got to this point. And then the last but not least, the Texas Longhorns for the women are in the Final Four. They had a couple okay games, but again, nothing really close in the women's bracket. A lot of these games are dominant, which is why we have one seeds left. So when you look at the scores here, 87-45 over Missouri State, 100-58 over Oregon, 76-54 over Kentucky, 77-41 over Michigan. So again, all four teams that are here have been dominant in their run to get to this point. So it's set up all four number one seeds ready for a Final Four, which starts tomorrow, actually. Well, today when you're watching this on YouTube, because I recorded this Thursday night and this starts Friday afternoon. So game one is South Carolina versus Connecticut. Connecticut is a 6.5 point favorite, which I understand as the defending champs and basically everybody back besides Paige Beckers. Sarah Strong, possible player of the year. I think as long as she, plays her game, and which is she does everything, UConn will win this game pretty easily. Again, they're going for their third title in 5 years on the South Carolina side. If Joyce Edwards, who averaged 19 points a game, and Tanaya Lotson, leading scorer last year while at Florida State, if they both can get their offense going and play their game, then I don't think UConn's going to be able to stop South Carolina. The only problem is I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think UConn is there for back-to-back. Gino knows it. Again, Sarah Strong could be the national player of the year, and I think she wants to end it and cap that with a title. Also, let's be honest, I don't think Fudd's last game is going to be a loss in her UConn Husky career before she moves on to the WNBA. So I have UConn moving on to the national title game, which will take place on Sunday. The second game on tomorrow, or again today, Friday, if you're watching right now, UCLA versus Texas. Texas very battle tested this year, 16-3 against top 25 teams. So that's no joke. If they can, kind of use some of that grit and grind that they took in some of those wins and use it against UCLA, which is not going to be an easy opponent to play, they can definitely get, again, a very good defensive team. So if they can force and make it a really hard day for UCLA inside the paint, then I think it is going to be their game to win. UCLA best offense in the sport this year. You have four girls that have been there together for years, 3 years now. Lauren Betts, Kiki Rice, Gabriela Jaquez, which I believe is Jaime Jaquez's sister, Angela Dugalich, which have been together, again, like I said, for 3 years. There's a lot of chemistry. I think this is Lauren Betts' last run here, so they're going all in for it, but they get a Final Four opportunity. I do think they're going to win. I don't think Texas is going to be big enough inside the paint to stop Lauren, and I think she's going to have a day. She might even score 30 points and get UCLA to the title game on Sunday afternoon. So when it comes to said title game on Sunday afternoon, I have UCLA versus UConn, and at the end of the day, I have UConn winning back-to-back. Now, I hope I'm right on this one, and I'm not wrong on the men's, which means UConn would be Arizona. But that is the case. I'm wrong on the men's. I would have UConn men and women both winning the title back-to-back days on Sunday and Monday, which, is possible, but I hope it's not the reality. Again, bear down, Arizona. Let's go. Okay, now before I get out of here, let us know in the comments below who you got the women's title. Also, hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok at RVUFTB and let us know why the Arizona Wildcats are winning the men's title, right? Bear down, guys. Bear down. Come on. Everyone's on my side. I know we had this, right? Great. Yeah. All right. So enjoy the basketball this weekend, guys. I'll be back for another episode next week. Trust me, it's definitely going to be about MLB because I'm loving abs. So be on the lookout for that episode. But until next time, Benchwarmers, stay ready. This was a Sycamore Fourth Studios production.